All right, race fans, welcome back. It's time for another deep dive into the world of F1.
Definitely, yeah.
And, this week you're probably looking at your calendars going, no F1 race this weekend.
That's right. Yeah, it's the 29th and the 30th of March, 2025, and nothing on the schedule for this weekend.
It's a bit of a quiet weekend, actually. So I think a lot of people are probably wondering, like, when is F1 back? When can I get my fix of racing?
You don't have to wait too long, actually. Formula One returns the first weekend of April, so that's April 4th through the 6th, 2025.
All right, so mark those calendars, everybody. April 4th through 6th, we are back. And where are we going? Where's this first race back?
We are headed to Suzuka, Japan for the Japanese Grand Prix.
All right, the Japanese Grand Prix, iconic track. Love it.
Always a favorite.
Absolutely. And this isn't just a one-off race. This is actually part of something pretty special on the calendar, isn't it?
Yes. So this is going to be
All right. So we've got Japan kicking things off. And then where do we go after that?
After Japan, we go to Bahrain, and then straight from Bahrain to Saudi Arabia.
So that's three very different tracks in terms of, driving style, the challenge for the drivers.
Completely. Yeah. You've got Suzuka high-speed corners flowing.
Yeah.
Then you go to Bahrain, which is much more about, power and braking, and then Jeddah Street Circuit completely different again.
Huge challenge for the teams as well, right? I mean, three races back-to-back, like that travel logistics.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how the teams handle it. It's right at the beginning of the season, so they're still, finding their feet a little bit potentially with new cars, new regulations maybe.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's going to be fascinating to see how that unfolds. So let's get into the specifics of the Japanese Grand Prix. I think a lot of people want to know, what time are these sessions taking place? So let's start with Friday, April 4th. We've got 2 practice sessions.
Yes, we do. So free practice 1 kicks off at 4:30 a.m. in Spain, 3:30 a.m. if you're in Portugal.
Yeah. All right, nice and early for the European fans.
Yeah, exactly. And then free practice 2, that's at 8:00 a.m. in Spain and 7:00 a.m. in Portugal.
All right, so 2 practice sessions on Friday, and let's talk about the Americas. What times are we looking at there?
So for Argentina, Chile, and the U.S. Eastern Time Zone, FD1 is going to be at 12:30 a.m.
Okay, so late Thursday night, essentially.
Yeah, Thursday night into Friday morning.
Yeah.
And FP2 is at 4:00 a.m.
All right, and for our fans in Colombia and Peru?
It's 10:30 p.m. on Thursday for FP1 and 2:00 a.m. Friday morning for FP2.
All right, and rounding things out for Mexico?
Mexico, it's 9:03 p.m. Thursday for FP1 and 1:00 a.m. Friday for FP2.
All right, so there you go. Got all your Friday practice session times. Now let's move on to Saturday, April 5th. We've got free practice 3 and qualifying, of course, the all-important qualifying session.
That's right. So FT3 and qualifying are going to be at the same times as the Friday practice sessions.
So just to reiterate, that's 4:30 a.m. and 8:00 a.m. in Spain, 3:30 a.m. and 7:00 a.m. in Portugal.
For the Americas, it's 12:30 a.m. and 4:00 a.m. in Argentina, Chile, and U.S. Eastern Time.
10:30 p.m. and 2:00 a.m. in Colombia and Peru.
And 9:00 p.m. and 1:00 a.m. in Mexico.
Perfect. All right, so there you have it, all your practice and qualifying times. And now the big one, the race itself, Sunday, April 6th. What time is that green light going to go out?
The race is going to start at 7:00 a.m. in Spain and 6:00 a.m. in Portugal.
Right, early start for the European fans.
Yeah, definitely. And then over in the Americas, it's 3:00 a.m. in Argentina, Chile, and U.S. Eastern Time.
1:00 a.m. in Colombia and Peru.
Also 1:00 a.m. in Mexico.
So wherever you are in the world, make sure you set those alarms because you do not want to miss this Japanese Grand Prix, the first race back after a little bit of a break and the start of a triple header, which is just going to be absolutely manic.
Yeah, it's going to be a crazy start to April for these teams. A lot of storylines are going to develop over these 3 races. We're going to see some drivers and teams rise to the challenge, so maybe struggle a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. And I think with this triple header coming so early in the season, it's really going to shape the narrative for the rest of the year. Who's looking strong, who's got some work to do. It's all going to start to become clear.
And I think for the fans, it's just going to be nonstop action. Yeah. 3 weeks in a row, just pure F1. Like, what more could you want?
What more could you want, indeed? So as we look forward to this Japanese Grand Prix and the triple header that follows, what are some of the big questions that you have? What are the storylines that you're most interested in seeing play out?
Well, I think for me, the big one is just how are the teams going to cope with this triple header?
Yeah.
Is it going to be the more experienced teams that have the advantage, or can some of the younger teams, pull off an upset?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. And I'm also curious to see, how the drivers are going to manage their energy levels over these 3 races. It's going to be physically and mentally demanding. So who can stay sharp throughout that whole period?
Definitely. And of course, you've got the championship battle starting to take shape. So every point is going to be crucial. So how much risk are the drivers willing to take in those early races? Do they play it safe or do they go all out for the win?
That's such a good point because you don't want to throw away a championship in the first 3 races, but at the same time, you've got to capitalize on every opportunity. So it's a real balancing act, and I can't wait to see how it all unfolds.
Me neither. It's going to be an exciting start to the season, that's for sure.
Absolutely. All right, well, that's going to do it for this deep dive. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you back here soon for more F1 analysis.
See you then.